know, they were all living in the same area. So I'll go to all these people. But my thing is, I don't know whether they had their own commitments to their own families, because they have their own families and their own children. So I don't know whether it was that never made the relationship consistent. Because if I look at my mother's end, even though she's ill and she's got the mental illness, she still maintained the relationship with me. Throughout my schooling, she came and visited me. Whether it means she even bought me pajamas, even if I didn't need those things, she always did that motherly thing of coming to see me. And if someone that is disabled can come and see her own child, what is wrong with the able-bodied people? So that is why I kept asking myself those questions.
Uyothi usale kanjani abanye betetiliza bezidabhela ama-products aka Blaqlife Traditional Pharmacy walala wasala wavuka wayithatha ziyakala mzala.
Welcome back to another episode of INDODA AYIKHALI with myself uBlaqlife uBakasela. Uyazi ukuthi angihambi ngedwa. I'm with my guy uMr King Skhaga. Hello Babluqa, how are you?
All right.
Ngiyaphila phela ngizothini? Siyaphila. Oh, I'm tired of that. I don't want to say that anymore. Ngiyaphila phela ngizothini? Like somebody is forcing me to phila. Like no, it's wrong nje, totally wrong. Yes, I'm happy ukuthi I'm just realizing ukuthi this is wrong. I'm taking away amandla kaNkulunkulu empilweni yami. You know, gratitude, bruh. No, that's not right.
Right, siyabingelela kanjalo sithemba ukuthi right. Asingene nje straight odabeni lesizwe ukuthi lo mlisa sihamba naye namhlanje ohamba yedwa qwaba kwenze njani la ngene?
We have Mr. Williams right here. Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Please make sure you introduce yourself and greet the viewers. Lapha ekhaya.
Hi, my name is David. Surname is Williams. I love viewers out there.
Yeah, Mr. Williams today decided to come to Blaqlife TV because he also have a story to tell about his background, how he grew up and how he ended up living eMashelton. As you all know, ukuthi thina kwindoda ayikhali sihambe siye lapha eMashelton and siyobheka abantu ukuthi abantu njengoba sebeze bafike yini le basuse bakhaya. Only to find out ukuthi today we happen to find ubani or Mr. David Williams. Mr. David Williams, please take us through your background, ukuthi where you come from, who are you, and all of that.
Okay, I'm from Durban. I was born in Newlands East.
Wow, where in Newlands East?
Albacore.
Okay.
She's our neighbor.
I'm also from Newlands, John Dory Pike Place.
Yes.
Yes.
Stinger Place. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
How it started was obviously 1986. My mother was pregnant with me. Around her pregnancy, there's a lot of questions that I have because neighbors have been telling me that the house that she was living in at the time was a drug den, and there were a lot of prostitution going on there.
Yeah.
And she fell pregnant in that situation. My mother's she's not mentally fit to have a child. She's mentally ill. She got schizophrenia. So what had happened was the white government then, the law was that people that have disabilities shouldn't have children.
Yeah.
And they picked up that my mother had a child. Well, the neighbors phoned the authorities to say, look, there's someone with a child. She's not capable of looking after the child. So she took me away, 3 months old. And they put me in St. Thomas Children's Home. That is for infants and children under the age of 7 years old.
Yes.
I lived there, and then once I was 7 years old, I moved to St. Teresa's Children's Home with the children.
Okay, can you kindly stop right there? Because you're too fast. Now, I wanted to find out there's something that is missing. Your mother and your father. You were living with both of your parents. Both parents, you were living with them in Newlands.
No, when I was
only your mom.
When I was born, I was with my mother. My father already been sentenced to jail.
Oh, he was in jail at that time. Okay, you can carry on.
Let me translate this before he ends his story, because we have our Zulu viewers here who also don't understand what we are talking about.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Bakithi uMr William takhuluma ngayo njengamanje uthi yena ukhuliswa abazali ezwa ngendaba ukuthi kwakama drug dealer kubo kwakungena kuphuma abantu bezothenga idakamizwa. This is where uma wakhe akhulelwa khona kwaba khona yena. Makukhona yena ke uthi ke uzaliwe ke nxa uthi uma wakhe waye mentally disturbed ngokolimi lesilungu kodwa wayephazamisekile ngokomqondo. Wayesethathwa ke ngokohulumeni obandlululo noma ngathi ke uhulumeni webala lemhlophe. Wathathwa ke wasuswa yohlala endaweni ekhulisa izingane washiwa ke uma wakhe uthi yena ezalwa nje ubaba wakhe esevele umuntu osejele so ekhula nje ukhula ubaba wakhe vele umuntu ongasekho around.
Okay,
please
you
continue, sir.
Yeah,
So I lived in the children's home until I was 18 years old, but during my time at the children's home, I had little contact with the father's side of the family.
Yeah.
My granny came to St. Thomas Children's Home when I was still very small. She was an assistant nurse there. So she got hold of, she was dealing with files, so she got hold of my file and she saw my birth certificate and she saw that my father was her son. So she went to query that with the family and then she came back to the social worker and said, this could be my grandson.
Yeah.
And then the social workers encouraged a relationship between my granny and I. And then what had happened, she started to take me for weekends while I was still small to her place in Newlands East. She introduced me to the family. But that wasn't consistent because it was an on and off thing.
The relationship with your granny?
Yes, with my granny and my father's side of the family. It was an on and off relationship. To a point that I even had to write letters to them because holiday time and the other children were going home, I had to stay. Even during Christmas, so I had to write letters to them to remind them that I'm still around. You know? But my mother would still come most Saturdays to visit me and buy me fruit for school and And obviously, when you're 18 years old, you have to leave this institution.
Yes,
and you have to find your own way. So what happened was I had to go and sleep by friends. 1 month I'll sleep by this friend, next month that friend. I was just living all over the place.
Different places.
Yes, different places. I was a casual worker at ShopRite at the time. Then eventually I found a small room for myself. And I stayed there, and then from there I heard about college, that they're giving bursaries. I must try and apply for bursaries. So I went to college, I applied for the bursary, and I studied tourism. I finished my N6. After that, Woodford Hire came to the college, and they selected me to be one of the students for the learnership that they had. It was an 18-month learnership. And after that, they were happy with my performance in that 18 months, and they made me a permanent worker.
Wow.
When the lockdown came, then they retrenched me, and then I realized I had nowhere to go. And that's when I stayed in the tents here by the municipality.
So you've been staying in a shelter since 2019?
So, since 2020. Yes.
2020.
And then towards the end of 2020, when the lockdown eased, I applied for a job by CCI call center.
Okay.
And I worked there for a bit. For I think 2 years I worked there. Then I got promoted to compliance officer. And that's when I became very, very ill. And I had to leave last year, and I had to come for a hospital checkup just to find that I needed surgery, which I did now in April.
Okay.
So,
which April this year?
This year, this April in Eddington Hospital. So yeah, I'm much better now. So I'm ready to work again. And I'm looking for a job now.
Okay. Hold on a second. Bakithi ke njengoba eqhubekile ke wachaza ke umfoka William uchaza ke la uthi ke njengoba bekhulela khona khulisa khona izingane wahamba omunye uma social worker wanothisa ukuthi kukhona ugogo wakho khona around la wamkhombisa ifile yakhe okubonakalile ukuthi bazihlobo kwatholakala ukuthi lengane ela ewuyena lo gogo uyayazi izalwa ingane yakhe kwase kuxhumaniswa ke ukuthi ajwayelane nefamily yakhe ngosizo ke lika social worker athi ke ubudlelane bakhe nabomndeni wakhe bekuncike kungekho right even though beya laphana ngekhathi ezithile nangokhisimusi nanoma inini bekungekho right kuze kwafika isikhathini sokuthi eminyakeni ewu18 ucaca ukuthi useyisikhathi sakhe sesiphelile la khala khona izingane waphuma ubala ukuthi ke ukawathola umsebenzi eShopRite asebenza kwacaca ukuthi uyakwazi ukuthi aphinde athole learnership asebenza ngoba wenze itourism uN6 athi ke ugcine okwenza wona so ke yonke leyo nto uyenza nje ezamela ngokwakhe uyena siqo kungekho umuntu omunye omesekayo sayimela yedwa athe ukuhamba kwesikhathi ke iCovid nokunye ke kumdicelele phansi ngoba eseqashiwe ngopermanent waphinde wadiliza emva kwegigaba zeCovid wacaca ukuthi ubuyele ekhaya hlala phansi uke wasebenza futhi call center la ahlatshwe khona ukugula waphoqa uthakala lesibhedlela until kulonyaka April ngaba ngphosisi esasibhedlela lapho ume khona njengamanje ke aphetha ngakho uthi ke usakulungela ukuphinda abuyele emsebenzini ngoba seluleme ngokugcwele noma ubani ongamqasha ngoba uyasho ukwasebenza eShopRite nakwe call center kwaba khona nanti nakhona ke itourism ufundile unawo N6 bazo understand ke abantu betourism ukuthi khulunywa ngani bakhulunywa kanjalo please carry on.
So yeah, so now I'm looking for a job now. But my mother's side of the family is my mother's mother worked for these people that my mother's family is with now. The Williams family.
Okay.
She was the Dlamini, but because when her mother died, then the Dlamini, the Williams family took her over.
Okay.
Because they didn't know the other family.
Okay.
And unfortunately, like I've said, that because they were into drugs, and that house that my mother was staying in was with drugs, nothing was working right for my mother. So that's why the government also took her away from that situation and put her in, counseling and mental health. Okay, that's a hostel for the disabilities and mental issues. Yeah.
There's still a connection between you and your mother.
Yes, I still visit her. The last time I visited was 2 weeks ago. I go there every now and again, just to go and see her.
Well, how does she behave when she's sleeping?
There are times where she can't even recognize me and she'll chase me. She'll say she doesn't know I'm there. She just chases me sometimes.
What about your grandmother, grandfather, other family members? They're still around, or they reject you as well?
They are still around, but I've just given up reaching out to them because it's every time I had to be writing letters to them and contacting them, and yeah, so I just gave up on that one. Yeah.
Lange?
Because of how you grew up, have you ever been like, simply because you've been exposed to drugs from the childhood? That's what you've said. But most of the time, what Baki sees, Baki do, right? So have you ever been a person who were like, hey, one day I want to do the same thing that my dad was doing when I was still a kid?
No, and no.
Have you ever taken drugs in your entire life?
No, I've never.
You've never.
And reason for this is that the children's home I came from was a Roman Catholic children's home. And they taught us about God and religion and that, and gave us certain values as to how we move forward in life. So no matter how tough certain situations are, there are certain things I wouldn't do because of how I was brought up. Yeah.
Perfect.
That I was brought up with.
So when was the last time seeing your grandmother from your father's side, if you remember?
It could be more than 10 years now.
10?
It could be more than 10 years.
You know what the tricky part is when I look, because grandmother, remember, she's the one who about a file, and then he then said, this is my grandson, you understand? All of a sudden, the relationship did not work out. So I believe maybe there are things that we don't know from our side because we only have Mr. Williams' side of the story. Two sides of a story are always perfect because you can hear from her, because from what I have heard, from everything that he's been saying to us, he's a good guy. You understand? Regardless of how he grew up and what's not, he got a huge experience, work experience rather. So now I'm thinking, maybe he needs to like check up for your grandmother. Maybe you can start another relationship. I don't know why you're still looking for a job, because you don't look like a guy who don't want to do things right. Rather, I don't know how to put it in one word, but I'm just hoping that everything you've been telling us, this is a true story.
Yes, it is true.
Yeah.
Like I've said to you, because the relationship was not consistent.
And so your problem was the consistency with your grandmother.
Of the relationship, and I started to feel that maybe I'm imposing, or or maybe they've got their own lives to live.
But David, you know, there's something that I always tell people. Sometimes the problem is with us because you have expectations. Maybe your grandmother was doing her level best to make sure she was trying. Remember, this is not your biological cover, but umagabani kababwako. Hence, she was trying her level. For the fact to from E5, that means a lot. Don't you think so?
Without any DNA test.
Exactly my point. So inconsistent, you might not. It's impossible as a human being for everybody and get 100% of that person towards you.
Yes, I understand that, but I also understand that she has children, which is my father's siblings, which are brothers and sisters.
They're also staying with the grandmother.
Which I was introduced to, and at times, maybe for some of the other day, I'll stay by her place. Because their houses were very close, and then my auntie was in Chondori. So she'll say, go and spend the weekend by your auntie. They go spend your weekend by the other auntie in the other place. You know, they were all living in the same area. So I'll go to all these people. But my thing is, I don't know whether they had their own commitments to their own families, because they have their own families and their own children. So I don't know whether it was that never made the relationship consistent. Because if I look at my mother, on my mother's end, even though she's ill and she's got a mental illness, she still maintained a relationship with me.
Yes.
Throughout my schooling, she came and visited me. Whether it means she even bought me pajamas, even if I didn't need those things, she always did that motherly thing of coming to see me. And if someone that is disabled can come and see her own child, what is wrong with the able-bodied people? So that is why I kept asking myself those questions.
I get it.
You see?
Yeah.
So
expectation.
that is why I just decided to stop. It's more than 10 years I haven't seen that side of the family. It's more than 10 years. I can't remember. Maybe even, I think 2010 was the last time I think I saw them, 2010.
Already 50 years or 40 years now.
Sure.
50 years.
Now, ngiyafisa ukwazi lamlangeni ngoba most of the time he told us that lapha ekhaya ekhula noma yena engakabe khona where uma wakhe nobaba wakhe babehlala khona kwakune exchange of ama drug dealers going in and out. Don't you think kunento yokuthi maybe akabelong right kwa Williams? Kukhona some of, because estorini sakho umentionile ukuthi uma wakhe sometimes ube ngokwestory asizwayo wakumention ukuthi wayekasetshenziswa as
a stripper,
porn star.
Oh,
something
okay.
To those abazothenga ama drugs and stuff.
Do you have that in your mind, that there is a possibility that you don't belong to William's side?
Okay, so the Williams, like I'm saying that, you see, my mother, her mother worked for the Williams family. I'm not a Williams biological.
Biological,
we are Dlamini, we come from Dlamini. She was Dlamini.
Yes.
But because her mother died at the time and she was working for the Williams, she was a maid for the Williams.
Okay.
Then the Williams decided to take my mother as their own
adopted
child. Then what had happened was, the older sister that my mother was going to stay with eventually, they were selling drugs in that house, and part of that is a lot of men were coming in that house and they were sleeping with women and whatever. And my mother was one of those people that slept with, and I became a product.
So
of
Williams is not your father's side.
No, Anderson is my father's side.
Okay, now I get you.
Hey
guys,
very
traumatizing.
Ukuthi why egcina sehlala kanje okunye ke achazayo ngoba ubona losigubha sibuza ngoba useyakuveza ke manje ukuthi kahle kahle lokwangempela akasiyena okwa William yena ongokadlamini wesibongo kodwa nangakhona ke siyafuna ukwazi ukuthi uDlamini uqhamuka kanjani kodwa akuvezayo ukuthi ugogo wakhe ubekade umuntu ohlala khona kwa William. So yonke into ke iqhamuke kanjalo ngoba noma eveza uma wakhe kuyavela ukuthi kuyona yonke lento odayisa ama drugs bekubuyela abantu abathenga ama drugs befuna amantombazana abazolala nawo kuleyo ndawo uma wakhe bewumunye wabantu abakanjalo. So besifuna ukuthola ukuthi akuyena nomunye walabantu bama drugs obekade engubaba wakhe ngempela ngoba indlela axoxa ngayo ukuthi ugogo wamthola lapha amthola khona ekhuliswa khona wamintroduce ehlobeni uyasho futhi sometimes ubemthethe vashela uAuntie Dana ukuthi vasha ezama ngayo yonke indlela umintroduce ehlobeni okuhlukahlukana but akayitholi le comfort yokuthi ahlale as i-member noma ilunga lomndeni ngenxa yento eyithile. But ke sifocus khona manje emlangeni ngokuthi
how do we help the guy
from now on? Where to? What is in his mind ukuthi ayikhulise empilweni ayibone umuntu ongcono, a real man ezobonakala yenza ushintsho empilweni yayo, better than expect something from other people. From you.
At the moment I'm in the shelter, but I go once a week to Pine Town. In Pine Town what I do is I do the garden for the family, and I even clean the house. Now that money that I have, I've went and booked my learners because I have to have a license so I can get a better job. So I'm focused on that part now. I just need to save enough money for my the driving license. But however, the experience I have is that first I've got customer service experience. I know how to use a computer. I know admin. I even housekeeping, anything. Just for now, just to keep me going until I can achieve that driver's license and get a better paying job, so I can buy land and build up a house. Because I've tried, like I've said, I've tried many years speaking to social development camp, and they help me with a house. But I don't fit in the category because I don't have any dependents. So that's always.
Do you have a girlfriend? When was the last time having a girlfriend? You never had a girlfriend?
5 years ago. 5 years now. Can't have any girlfriend when you live in the shelter.
No girls there?
There's no girls in the shelter. There's only a guy shelter there.
Serious?
How's life there?
I mean, we're living with different people. We're living with people that are convicted. They've been convicted and sentenced to jail. You're dealing with people that their communities don't want them because they've been stealing, they've been on drugs and whatever.
Different characters.
Different characters, and it's very hard to live in a place like that.
I wanted to ask you then, how do you feel being mixed up with such people in one space, knowing very well that you're not one of them?
During lockdown, it's better now, but during lockdown it was worse because they got all the guys from under the bridges.
Yeah.
And they were in the tents with us, and a lot of them, half of the time their minds were gone.
Yeah.
That they can even kill you and they won't even think anything about it.
Oh my goodness.
So I was very... During lockdown, I was very scared. It was the first time living with people like that.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Just imagine, even kuma hospital, ngiyakhathazeka ngendlela uhulumeni enza ngayo izinto. Sometimes uthola ukuthi kunoma wengane osanda kuphophunyelwa ingane. Uthathiwe wodini okhishwa ingane abuyisa azohlala nabantu abasakhulela abasa-expect something.
Traumatizing.
Just the same way achaza ngakhona uMr. La ukuthi babehlaliswa nabantu abahlala ngaphansi kwebridge abaphila impilo different too. Okuwukuthi mase befuna into abafuna ukuyibhema manje bengagwaza anybody bambulala without even banake ukuthi benzeni babe nendaba. So ngiyafisa ukuthi nohulumeni la khona ayibheke indaba yokuhlanganisa abantu ukuthi laba bantu bacabanga indlela efanayo bahlanganisa abantu inhloso yethu ukuthini ukuthi balulame or baqhubeke babe sesimene esifanayo because i-background yakhe vele ikhuluma ama-drugs ikhuluma ngokuhlukumezeka from ekhaya uma izohlala nabantu vele abenza into emhlukumeza kakhulu empilweni up until today engabi nawo umndeni oqondile sicabangana. So if ever some of the people they need you, they need to call you. What is your number?
Do you have any contact details, email address?
My cell phone number is 076 584 1675. Or you can get me on Facebook. Kerwin David Williams. KERWIN David Williams. You can find me on Facebook.
Hey, we're just hoping and praying, Williams, God will help you find a job, a proper job, so that you can go forward with whatever place that you have, because you already have a diploma. So there is so many possibilities for you out there. I believe you believe in God.
Yes, I do.
Don't forget to pray, my love. Don't forget to pray.
And last thing, please, Baggage, if ever on a driving school, ungizwile ukuthi ufuna ukwenza license. Better than umnikeze imali, ungamthatha ayomfundisa license, umqede yonke into. It's either code 14, code 10, code 8, as long as any license. Because njengoba esho nje uyayidinga i-license so that izokwazi ukukhula nayo empilweni going forward. For you ukuthi umsupport either nesonto lenigcina abantu abafana naye uyabelivela kuNkulunkulu umthathe ezesontweni lakho umintroduce kumlungu wakho osontisayo ezohlala nani better than indawo ahlala kuyona manje aphila impilo engcono akwazi ukuqhubeka phambili. Mina ngiqedile ngani zakuthi
I've also done a very traumatizing story, but however, this is how life it is. Going forward, we're just hoping for ushintsho and hoping for success for everybody. That is why it's Blaqlife TV. We always make sure we show up in cases like this. Mina look, I'm done, I'm out. Make sure subscribe, and like.
Yes.
Help us.